Hello, we're on time, but we do need your help.
Our help? Aren't you the famous investigative team?
Okay, so you saw us on KSNN last night?
How can we help?
We have a ton of information to go through. A lot of residents have emailed us to let us know if they smelled a bad stink.
So what have you done so far?
We started out by writing down what we knew about the problem. We asked a lot of questions, wrote down a bunch of new questions, and talked to a lot of experts. So here's what we know about the problem. The Fuseville Health Department gave a warning on Monday that a lot of people in the town were smelling a bad smell. But no one knows where the smell is coming from. We need to figure out what's causing the stink. We asked the residents to email us to report if they found anything. So we were sort of hoping that you could help us to gather the comments. Wow, look at all that email. What do we do with it? How about if we start by separating them by the cities? Fuseville, Mid-City, Xville, and Big City. Yeah, and then we can separate them into two piles, one for Monday and one for Tuesday. That will help us to chart it down. Phew, look, nobody smelled anything in Big City or Mid-City on either day. This is weird. Look at all the people in Xville who said they smelled the usual on both days. The usual? And a couple of people said they think it's a paper mill and they're not worried. Hey, look, here's the paper mill over here. And it's north of Xville. And look, the trash burning plant is over here too. But almost everyone in Fuseville said that they smelled something really bad on Monday, but not on Tuesday. So maybe it really is the paper mill. Well, it would have knocked them out in Xville if it was so bad in Fuseville on Monday. But Fuseville didn't smell anything on Tuesday, when Xville still did. Maybe something kept the smell from getting there on Tuesday. Maybe we should do an experiment on how smell moves. Experiment? Cool. Wait a minute. Nobody in Mid-City smelled it on either day. And look, it's right next to the chemical plant. This is really strange. Could we be wrong? Maybe the chemical plant isn't causing all the stink. But yesterday, we figured out that it was the chemical plant. I still think it is. That's our hypothesis, remember? But we might be wrong. We need an expert opinion. Let's go back and tell Dr. D after school. He might be able to tell us if we're right. Let's go. Hi, Dr. D.
Hello again. What's wrong? You look like your cat just died.
No, that didn't happen. Wishful thinking, Bernie. We thought we had the problem all figured out.
We thought the stink was coming from the chemical plant.
Look at this. But if the stink was coming from the chemical plant, the people in Mid-City would definitely smell it. But they didn't. It might have been the paper mill, but why didn't the people in Xville smell it really strong on Monday?
And then why didn't the people in Fuseville smell it on Tuesday?
Either people are smelling it differently or something else is going on. I was thinking maybe we could do an experiment to see how smell travels.
What would your variables be then?
Variables? Remember what Monica Barnes said? It's one specific thing that you, the experimenter, has control over. It can affect or change the results of your experiment.
That's right. Let's use my wave machine as an example. When I wiggle this rod, it makes waves of medium height. The distance between waves we call the wavelength. How can we change the wavelength?
I think if you wiggle the rods faster, it'll make the wavelength shorter.
No, the wavelength will be longer.
Well, frequency, or how fast I wiggle the rods, is a variable because it affects the wavelength. It's important to only change one variable at a time.
Like not changing the weight at all.
That's right. If we change the wave height, making it bigger or smaller, that might also affect the wavelength. Let's try it. I'll wiggle the rods at a faster frequency at medium height and see what happens.
Yes, I rule. The wavelength was shorter.
Does that help you remember?
Kind of. I guess we need to think through about how a smell moves.
Okay, let's go back to the treehouse and get to work. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later, Dr. D.